Share my screen. So please let me know if you can see my screen. Uh, if to can you enable screen sharing? Right. All right. So can you guys see my screen?
Sir, we can see.
All right, great. Thank you. Cool. Welcome back, guys. This is our second session. Thank you all so much for the positive feedback on the first session. So for those of you who remember me, and for the newcomers, I'm Tarun. I'm a first-year engineering student and a content creator. I make content on programming and ethical hacking. And from today's session, we'll be again speaking about programming basics, where you can learn programming and what you should not do and do to become a good programmer. From our previous session, I saw that many of you students like logical questions, and I hope that during this 1 week of time that you had, you have put in some effort to build on your logical thinking. Because today I have 5 questions for you, 3 in the beginning and 2 in the end. And for few of the questions, I have decided to take it a little step up. So, we'll be looking at a little harder questions now, where you will have to go. If you guys remember, I spoke about 2 phases of analysis in, logical thinking. The first phase where you just see a direct overview, and that's like, your first basic analysis. And second, where you go into a deeper level, see for patterns, etc. So today we'll be seeing the second type more. So if you guys are ready, I am going to start. Okay, so excited. We'll be going for our first question now. Okay, and the basic rules. How many of you are from last time? If you were there in the last session, just send me yes in the chat section if you attended last session. Okay, great. For everyone who wasn't there in last session, okay, just a little rules that I would like to tell you. So first thing, I'm just like max 2 years older than you guys. So cut out all the formalities. If you need me to repeat myself, just ask me. Do not feel shy to, ask me any doubt that you have. And I understand few of you would not like to, open your mics and speak. So chat section is on. You can always, you know, send me a message here. So us, which part would you want me to repeat? I'm just giving the basic instructions. So yeah, that's about it. And if few of you could turn on your cameras, that would be great, because then it would feel like it's an actual class more than, something online. If not, we can go ahead. I don't know. That's absolutely fine. If you don't have a webcam, it's okay. Don't worry about that. Okay. Thank you, guys. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. First question. We'll go. Okay. Okay. First one is very simple. I want you guys to tell me what will come in place of the question mark. Yeah, you can call me Bhaiya. Definitely, sure. You can call me. Okay. Guys, chat section is up, and you can tell if anyone wants to tell the reason. Yeah. Okay, great. Many people are giving the answer. Okay, can someone tell the logic?
90. 90. The difference is 1, 2, 3, 4, and
Okay. But, so I saw the correct answer, but someone told 15 also. Can someone explain how can 15 be the answer here? I would like to see everyone's
been skipped
perspective.
in between.
Hmm?
15 has been skipped in between after 30.
Okay, why do you, if 15 would come, the answer is changed, but I am sure that there's a reason I've skipped. So stick to the pattern. Look at this pattern and tell me. if you were thinking odd numbers here, 2 is not an odd number, it's an even number. So the fact that 15 isn't here doesn't make a difference. So see the pattern again, and many of you have given the right answer, but if any one of you can, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you properly.
Sir, they are prime.
The prime number, sir.
Absolutely right. So
So they
prime
are prime
numbers,
numbers.
right? 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and hence the next number that will come here is 19. Okay, great. All right, so next question. Okay, this was the easier one. This was step 1 analysis. So now a little step 2 analysis, right? For the next question, I don't want you guys to immediately start giving off the answers in the chat section. Okay, we'll give a solid 30 seconds and then you will start, right? Okay. Second question. What will come in place of the question mark in this final triangle? Okay, so I'll be looking 30 seconds and then you can start putting the answers. Try to figure out, treat every triangle as an individual entity and try to figure out a pattern that is there in this. Okay, so we have our first answer. Okay. Excellent. So we have many correct answers. Okay, can anyone, anyone who said 15, can you tell me why it would be 15?
Because we're applying a logical algorithm, which is 6 plus 6 minus 6 is equal to 6 minus 6 plus 6 is equal to 6. 4 plus 7 minus 2 is equal to 9. 18 plus 3 minus 10 is equal to 11. 8 plus 8 minus 3 is equal to 13. Just like that, 7 plus 5 minus 6 is equal to 6.
Right. So 6 is correct. That's absolutely correct. Okay, that's good. I'm actually surprised you guys got this so quick. Okay, so third question, ready? Third question, one thing before we go into the next one, you'll need to use a few math formulas here, okay? So in case you guys don't, just write it out. You don't have to get the answer or anything. All right? Good. Okay. This question, what will be the answer to this? Okay. Okay, great. Great. So we have many correct answers. The correct answer is C, which is 4. But I would like to explain this a little, because by looking at the speed, I mean, guys, I have also been in online classes. I know not most, but few of you would have taken it from Google. That is fine. I just want to explain this a little so that everyone understands. Okay. I don't have the fancy pen set up here to write, so I'll be just using my mouse. So just bear with me for a while. Okay. So we have 8x here. Can you guys see this? And I'm very sorry for the handwriting. Okay, I'm like using my mouse.
Sir, it's
So,
clear, sir.
okay. So we have 8x divided by 32y. Correct. Okay. Now let's do one thing. We know 2 to the power 3 is 8. Correct. 2 to the power 3 is 8. And 2 to the power 5 is 32. Correct. 2 to the power 5. Now we have a rule in maths, a to the power m whole power n is nothing but a to the power mn, correct? So this will become 3x because there was an x previously here, and this will become 5y, okay? So you will be able to rewrite this equation as 2 to the power 3x minus 5y. And this value is actually given to you here. So this is nothing but 2 to the power 2, which is 4, making C our correct option, right? Great. So we have two more questions at the end, but first, let's go ahead and talk a little about programming for now, right? So from last class, we had spoken, I had spoken about how to start your programming journey, and what is programming, why we need programming, and since many of you were actually not present there, I'll just summarize it quickly in 2 minutes. So computers are not exactly smart machines, okay? They need instructions from humans to operate. These instructions are given by us to them in forms of programs. Now, to write this program, the computer understands only one language, which is the binary, which is ones and zeros. But we as humans cannot sit and write ones and zeros. Hence, we have programming numbers, programming languages in which we write. Someone is writing on the screen. I'm sure you would like to do that, but Abhinay. So we have programming language. Guys, I'll have to disable it if you do that. It's fun, I know, but like we do that in case time permits, we do that. And I also have one very special topic at the end I've kept. This is a topic which is not exactly related to programming, and there's a new thing which I am also learning. So only if we have time will I be able to do that. Okay, so let's try to finish this quickly. So we can give computers instructions in these programming languages. So now we'll answer few of the most commonly asked programming questions, which I got from you last class in the chat section, plus what I've been generally asked in my 2 years of making content on programming. So first, and like the most asked questions would be, which programming language should I start with? Because right now we have so many programming languages, and it's very confusing to know which to start from. So let's
HTML.
Okay, great. So we'll start today's session off with this question. Okay, which language should I start learning from? So to answer this, right, you would have to ask yourself one question first. Which part or which field of programming am I genuinely interested in? Okay, and for that, I'll show you guys the divisions, and then you can answer for yourself. Okay. So this would be the basic divisions in or basic fields in which programming is used today. Right? One would be your web development, where we make websites. Second would be your software development, probably something like Zoom, which we are using, or Canva, or anything, maybe Microsoft Office kind of software development. Third would be your game development, something like PUBG. Fourth, Android development, Android apps mostly, and iOS apps also. And fifth is AI/ML, which is data science, also now called, very confused with IoT, which is Internet of Things. But that's a topic for another day. AI/ML, please clear that. Whichever student thought that your name was there, and this is getting recorded. I hate to be one of, these are the things teachers would tell us before, and I would be like, why are they even doing this? So please erase that. Or I can stop sharing and I can start again. It will go. You have the chance to erase it. That's okay. Okay. No issues. So we were here. So first we'll go with web development. All right. So for web development, since this is a field many people are interested in, plus I got a lot of feedback on this in my DMs from the previous session. Hence, I've explained this in detail. So your step one would be to learn HTML. HTML is a markup language that is used to basically design like the layout of any website. Now to this backbone layout, we'll need to add some decorations or styles. To do this, you will have to learn CSS. Okay. Now, once you've added decorations, it looks good. There is some logical work that this website will have to do. Probably if you say press a button, it should navigate you somewhere else. Or if you click on a menu, it should, do some animations and open. For this, okay, great. So for this, you'll have to learn JavaScript. Also, guys, I'm sure this is not like, a must do for you guys. This is simply here if you want to learn. If it's not, I am also not interested to tell you guys to, force you to learn something. If you don't want to learn, please be my guest, leave. There are people who are waiting for opportunities to learn, still don't have them. You're being gifted an opportunity, you still don't want to take it. That is none of my concern. If you don't want, you can go. It's fine. If you think this is too boring, too easy for you, please leave. It's absolutely fine. Okay. Um, the Q&A will be at the end. Okay, don't worry. I'll answer your questions at the end. Step four, once you learned with, once you've learned JavaScript, you can learn frameworks in JavaScript that will just, help make the process of coding up very fast. And finally, fifth, a website can be divided into two parts, okay? One part, the front end is what you actually see, like, what you can visually see, and back end is what is connecting all the data, the databases, etc., to this website. So you can learn the backend and become a full stack developer. Fine. Next, software development. Okay. If you are interested in, going for software development, you should start with C. Okay. C will give you very good fundamentals. So once you're done with C, you can learn C++ or Java, any of these which have OOPS. Okay. This is object-oriented programming. Basically, what this will do is help you write big, huge amounts of codes easier and faster. Once you're done with that, you should learn DSA.
Sir, where can we learn C language?
C language, as I told in my previous class, you can learn on Free Code Camp. Okay, other than that, you have courses on Udemy and Coursera. And one of my favorites, if you want to learn Hindi, Code with Harry has, I think, a 7-hour video on learning C. You can definitely learn from that. Yeah. Next, DSA, as I recall telling in last class, when you apply this logical thinking onto questions, right, onto real life examples, we'll be using data structures and algorithms to do that. So this is a very, very important step for software development. So you should be good at this. So you should learn that. Where to learn this is coming up in the end. So I've given websites where you can learn all of these. So don't worry about that. Next, you'll have to learn something called as Git. This is done so that, obviously one person cannot build a software all by themselves, right? So if you're working in a team, you will need a central place where, all of you are able to code this. So that is basically what Git will help you do. Okay. And speaking in terms, coming to reality, it's 2022 now, and we have platforms where you can make, softwares without any code. You can just drag and drop blocks and it will build a software for you. So getting into software development in 2022 is hard. It's quite a hard task, okay? Because the demand for this is gradually going down. So to really be paid well or get a job into this, you should be very good with your analysis, your data structures and algorithms. Okay, so that's one very important thing. Yeah. JavaScript is important to us. It's very important if you're interested in web development. Yeah, Udemy has some very good courses which you can take. I personally don't recommend an academy to anyone. An academy is great for like exam preparation and stuff, but if you want to learn like all this, I don't recommend an academy. Okay, next would come game development. This is not my field. I am not into game development, but from most of my friends that are in this is what they recommend people to learn C++ or Java to have a good fundamental start. Learn about computer graphics, and then you can learn a game engine like Unity. You guys would have noticed, like if you switch on some game, it will show you built using Unity or some game engine. So if you learn how to use these game engines, you can build games. The chat section. To learn computer graphics, again, you can learn this on YouTube. We are actually so blessed to be this internet generation. Back then, people did not have access to any of this. Now, all we need to do is go on YouTube, type computer graphics tutorials, and you will have so many tutorials to choose from. So, just go ahead, go to YouTube, type computer graphics tutorial. You'll find someone, some video which is not very long, which has good, comments. You can learn from that. Okay. And Android and iOS apps. So the olden or the basic approach to this would be to learn Android apps. People would ask you to learn Java, and to make iOS apps, people would ask you to learn Swift. But now that we've come so far in development, we have covers or platforms where you can write one code and it can be used on multiple platforms. Example of this would be React Native or Flutter, but I would not recommend you to directly go learn any of these. It won't you won't be able to easily learn these, and what will actually happen is you'll find it so hard you'll want to quit it very soon. So I don't recommend you start with these. It's good if you want to start with Java, you can. Java is a good place to start, but I would recommend before you do Java, you at least learn the fundamentals of C. Okay. For creating an app, you need coding. That is true, but one second. Yeah, you need a code to create an app, but now there are particular platforms where you can just drag and drop bits and pieces of codes, and that by itself will create an app for you. Hence, reducing the need for you to actually sit and type any code. Okay, so basically, like it'll be. Have you guys played with Scratch? That there used to be this one.
Yes, sir.
So you've seen Scratch, right? You can like drag, move, and then put the number of steps, and it will move that. So something like that is even there for making apps. So you can just drag a button, and you can write what the button should do. So this reduces the need for us to hard code anything. Yeah. So for doing animated characters, you can use the game engines, and in that game engine, it will come with like a block of code. You can write your code in between that, and it will execute. So to learn that, I recommend Unity because it's like very good. So you can learn from that. Block coding, exactly. Hmm. Cool. Finally, AI and ML. This is a field I'm more inclined to nowadays. So for this, your fundamentals should be Python. Okay. The only backlog you might face while learning Python is that it's actually a very, very easy language. So once you've learned Python, you'll feel it's a little difficult to shift to other languages. Okay. Python is so easy. If you know English, it's like you almost know Python. It's very, very basic, and the number of tutorials available on Python are, exponentially growing every day. If you go to any YouTube channel, you'll find tutorials on Python. So I recommend you learn Python, R, and MATLAB. But in AI and ML development, we extensively use math. Okay, there are many math topics which we use, and learning this could be a bit, hard. Even for someone who's been in this field for a while, it can be hard. So there's that. Plus, another thing in AIML that is used a lot is called visualization, where you take data and you put it on screen for people to see. And since this meeting was on such short notice, I wasn't able to make anything fancy, but I have a simple example for you guys here. Can you see the code? Can you guys see this?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Yeah, sir.
Great. So if you guys have done math, you would have known there's sine waves and there's cos waves, correct? So from this, using Python, I'm actually visualizing what a sine graph would look like. From the values, I'm taking it and I'm putting it on a graph. There's a very, very basic example of how visualization would go. Probably, let's take a more real life example. I'll just show you guys the cos wave. And I didn't have much time to make anything fancy, so I just put them together. But in a more real life situation, this would be, this side might be customer feedbacks, and this might be the months. And, we might be taking how many customers have given a positive feedback, how many have given negative, and, then we plot it on this. So it becomes very easy for us to analyze what went wrong where. Okay. So AIML is definitely one of the biggest fields that we are seeing, especially since 2020. The development in this field has been incredible. Many people are coming up. So AIML should definitely be on your lookout if you're trying to get into coding. This is a good place for you to be. Great. So now coming to the question, where do we practice all of this? So I've been telling you, learn C, learn Python, practice these questions, but I never actually gave you a platform where you can write this. So last class, I told you guys, once you learn the basic of any language, what you can do is Google for a textbook, Sumita Arora grade 11 textbook, and do questions in that. But those questions will eventually get boring. They're very easy level. Once you're done with that, these are 4 websites which I like, where I regularly practice coding. Okay, so my favorite one is hackerrank.com. So we'll share you this PPT later, so don't have to worry about like writing it down. But hackerrank.com, LeetCode, CodeChef, and CoderBytes. These are a few of my favorite places to practice. HackerRank is more of a basic kind. This is where you will go to learn your fundamentals. This is actually where I started learning Python. So HackerRank is a great place to start. LeetCode is very good for once you're done with basics, you want to start take a step ahead. LeetCode will give you excellent questions. And for competitive level programming, where you're if you're participating in some competition where they're seeing your analytical skills, your programming skills, something like that, CodeChef would be excellent. So for all of you, I recommend, like as I told, I recommend you learning C. Once you learn the basic fundamentals, the for loop, if conditions, print statements, then I recommend you go to HackerRank. You can select the C option and you can start solving one by one the questions. Okay. Does hacking come under? We'll answer these cybersecurity questions and all. I'll answer in the end. Okay. We'll just finish this and then we'll go to that. Okay. Q&A is there. Don't worry. Okay. there's a good saying that it's more important to know what you shouldn't do than what you should do. So these are few of the commonly made mistakes in programming that almost everyone makes that I want you guys to not do. Fine. So I'm telling you from this, from my experience, what you shouldn't do. Fine. The first one is not being consistent. Okay, I spoke about consistency in the last class also, and I'm still telling this because this is the number one factor that determines how fastly and how efficiently you can learn to code. There are people, who will just believe that they are not able to learn coding, but they'll try to learn it once a week. That's not okay. Even if you're putting in 5 to 15 minutes a day, that's still good. No matter how small the time is, putting a daily little effort every day matters a lot. So be consistent, learn every day, and sometimes it's nice to take a break. You can do that, but don't let it go for the extended period of time, like how I did. Actually, for my 12 board exams, 2 months I completely left coding. So once the exams were done, I felt it was very hard to get back on it. I again felt like I had, lost touch of, how to approach a problem. So I believe consistency is the number one thing which is important. So not being consistent is a deadly mistake which you should be avoiding. Okay. Second, not asking for guidance. So everyone thinks, I can do this myself. I don't need anybody's help. And that's great. Being self-sufficient is excellent. But there are places, especially in coding, where you just get stuck. You have no idea what to do next. At this time, thinking that you'll figure it out is not the best approach. It is okay to ask someone for help. Maybe they have an approach you don't, and this guidance doesn't have to, always come from someone who knows more than you. It could probably just be your classmate who has a different approach to this. So if you feel you're stuck somewhere, you don't know what is the next step you should do, don't hesitate to ask for guidance. And especially now that, we have so many Instagram pages where we teach you guys coding, so many YouTube channels, and plus you have seminars like this. At this point of time, this shouldn't be a big issue for you guys. You can always ask us for guidance. Third, trying to study from everywhere. So this is again a very important thing, because like there are teachers have their own way of teaching, right? So if I am learning from one particular person, and he tells, he might have a process of teaching his own. So in between, if I try to learn a topic from somewhere else, my head won't be able to keep it together. I'll get confused between this and that. So I don't recommend people to try to learn from everywhere. I usually suggest you take one particular course, or you select one platform where you learn. For example, for me, that was Free Code Camp, where I learned everything from. So in case I was, stuck in something, I wanted to learn a new topic, the first place I would go back is Free Code Camp, because there I already know how the teachers teach. I know how their strategy would be to help us learn. So it's very important for you to stick to learning from one particular source. And also another thing, looking at, few Instagram pages that may have good number of followers, but they actually don't know anything themselves. They will not, be a good source to study from. They'll, just throw some bits of code at you and ask you to analyze yourself. Don't try to learn from such people also. So a good platform where you trust, or somebody you trust, learn from them. Fourth, not practicing enough. So another very common mistake that many of us do, and what is now termed as tutorial loophole or hell loop. What happens in this is we usually turn on one tutorial to watch something. Maybe I'll put, Python tutorials, and I'll get so obsessed in looking at it that I'll keep looking at those videos thinking that I have also done them. So if someone there is coding for the 1 hour, I will think that I have also coded that 1 hour. But when someone actually puts me to code, doesn't give me that video, I will not remember what to do. Because all this while, all I was doing is visually looking at that video. My hands and my brain is not used to doing this practically. So just like questions, just like math, you can see your teacher solve 1,000 questions, but if you don't solve few questions before exam, you won't know what to do. Same like that, coding, if you just visually see or you hear, you won't know it. You have to start doing more and more questions yourself. So practicing is very important, and consistency plus practicing is what makes a good programmer. Fifth is mugging up. This shouldn't be an issue for people in like 8, 9, 10. But those of you in 11th and 12th, you guys will have computer science as a subject, right? So most common here is before the exams, we just mug up some algorithm. Maybe if there's binary search, we'll just mug up the algorithm, go and spit it in the paper there. So that's a very, very bad approach to learning anything, because mugging up, in case you forget one thing in between, the rest of it will plumble down. You won't be able to recall anything. So never mug up your code. Always understand the logic behind it. Yeah. Next, finally, jumping topic to topic or language to language. So what few people do is, if they have, today I might be learning Java, and it just got boring for me. So tomorrow I'll start with C. So people, when they get bored, they just switch to something else. So this is one, and this is very common here because sometimes nothing makes sense in programming. Okay, you will get very bored. You will not want to code again. It's okay. When that happens, you should just take a break rather than stop what you're learning and starting something else. Just take a break. Remember why you actually started this, and then you can continue. But never jump from one topic to another. Cool. So Right. So our last two questions, which we have here on logic. So you guys can try this one. I have the chat section open, so you can answer. Yeah, this one shouldn't take you guys time.
Sir, the answer is 45.
Absolutely. Anyone would like to explain logic behind that? If it's on text or saying it, that's fine.
Sir, 55 minus 50 equals to, sir, 55 minus 5 equals to 50. So 50 minus 5 will be 45. Same like that, 75 minus 15 equals to 16. So 60 minus 15 will be 45.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Great. So the last one more logic question. Pen, ready? I think this one, the next one should be like incredibly easy for you guys looking at how fast you're answering. So, all right, I'll go. If this is the condition, what will be the answer for this?
Sir, 90.
The 90, sir, I can tell the logic. 9 9 81 plus 9 is equals to 90.
Absolutely. So that is the pattern. So this is 4 into 4 is 16 plus 4, 20. 5 into 5, 25 plus 5, 30. So similarly, 9 into 9, 81 plus 9, which is 90. Cool. So there was one more topic which I remember I wanted to talk to you guys about, which is I'll only talk about this if you guys want. Okay. So this is not that related
Yes,
to
sir.
programming. So this is, let me just conclude off for people who are not interested so they can leave, and people who only want to want to learn can stay. Cool. So only those of you, this is the end of the programming part. So if you guys don't want to learn that extra bit, it's fine. You can leave. Cool. Okay. So this is called design thinking. Okay. And this is what is new. And this is something that I have been now learning probably just for the past 2 months or so. And before we talk on what is design thinking, there is two terms I want you guys to tell me. Like, tell me the difference between these two. Okay. It is invention versus innovation. Can you tell me the difference? And if you take a Google, even I have it open, I can tell. I just want it can be in basic language. Okay, just whatever you think is invention versus innovation. Invention means
Invention means creating a thing with new substance, and innovation with creative ideas.
okay, that is a good explanation. Anyone else? Anyone else has anything to add to that? Innovation means recreating, right? Absolutely correct. So invention is when we come up with a new product, when we come with something new. Okay, the light bulb was invention. Okay, so that is when we come from an idea to building something. Innovation is when there is a product which is already available, but we make it better by updating. Exactly. For example, there are pens, right? We've all been using pens. So first there used to be those ink pens. That was invention. Then they got to know about gel pens. Now they have, they add rubber so it's comfortable for us to write. That is innovation. Okay. And this is what is the market need for the current time. People who can think from the client side and tell what will make the client's life easier are the ones who are getting paid a lot and lot. So coming back to our initial term, which is design thinking, when we take this innovation and we use logical thinking in that innovation and we apply this onto the design of a particular product, such as to make it more usable, that is nothing but design thinking. So probably we can talk about chairs. Okay, this the chairs in your classroom. You sit on them. Before they used to be like iron made chairs, very uncomfortable to sit on. Now next you have wooden chairs, but it's a little better to sit on. And then came the foam padded chairs. So this is where innovation was. But now, the most important question in this would be, why do we need this? Because every person, every user, they uses a product because it helps them do something easier. Correct. We use some form of product because it makes our life easier. And this design thinking helps us do that. And once you're able to do that, any company would be willing to, hire you to do that for them. And also another thing, how is coding and this exactly connected, and why did I feel the need to tell you guys this? Okay, so if you guys would have noticed, there is a huge uprise of entrepreneurs in India. The thinking of people probably 10 to 20 years ago was, learn to code. I'll sit for placements. I will crack Microsoft or Google interview and I'll get job there. But with now newer generation, our thinking has changed. We have stopped worrying about living paycheck to paycheck and rather thought on how we will build our own empire, how we will build our own business. So for someone who is interested in entrepreneurship, into building their own business, design thinking plays a very, very critical role. And design thinking, up till recently, was always being thought that it's connected to physical products. Like for example, we gave phone cases, we gave pen, we gave chair, but also these products which we are giving can be virtual products. They can be online. Design thinking can also be applied to your particular maybe platform which you're giving, maybe a website you're making. If you're able to use design thinking to make a customer's or a user's usage in your website easier, you've accomplished design thinking. So coding and design thinking go hand in hand a lot. And a person, who knows how to code, but can use their mind to logically think of a better design. Previously, design would just be layout, but now design has changed from layout to usability. Okay, so if we are able to do that using design thinking, then it's incredible. Cool. So design thinking is a newer topic, and there exactly aren't very much available courses or material from where you can learn design thinking. A few of them have compiled in the next slide. Okay. One is Coursera. Coursera has this particular course from Duke University, which is the current course that I had been doing. That will help you, shape your mind to learn to think in a particular way for the users. And the process of design thinking isn't just that, I'll sit today, I'll write, make some changes and apply. It is actually a big process. First of which would be analyze analysis, which I showed you guys in the logical questions. You need to go 3 4 layers in depth of analysis. Next, you have to put a problem statement. You have to come up with a particular part which is causing an issue to the users. For example, if we all know that at the right hand corner, then we have that close, minimize, and the resize button, right? So probably in some applications, that button was too small. So the problem statement would be, the button is too small. We have to come up with a solution for this. So once you implement a solution using design thinking, you have to prototype this. From prototype, we mean apply this whatever solution that you've got onto a halfway product and test this with some users. Depending on the feedback you will get from that users, you can make your final product. So prototyping and design thinking, prototyping is a part of design thinking. Next place where you can learn this from is IEEE papers. For those of you who don't know IEEE, it is International Society of Electronics and Electrical Engineers. So basically, this is a place, a forum where there are multiple seminars like this going on. There are conferences, there are research papers, and similar to this, there is a design thinking committee here. So if you guys are interested in that, I mean, I don't think you guys would be, it's best for you to learn, join IEEE right now. But if you're in like your 12th or like you're joining college next year, consider joining IEEE. It's a great platform. It will expose you to so many new topics. This is also the first place where I learned about nanomaterials. So IEEE is one place I recommend you guys check out. Once you finish, probably finish your 10th or like finish your 11th and then look into IEEE. If you're in your 8th or like 8th or 9th, IEEE won't make sense to you right now because reading those research papers would be very boring. You wouldn't like it. So you guys stick on to Coursera. And finally, textbooks. So there are few textbooks for, design thinking which are available online, and I've downloaded them, which I will be circulating amongst you guys. So these textbooks will have probably 600, 700 pages. Don't have to sit and learn all of them. Take one chapter, try to, see what they're speaking about in that. Okay. So step by step, if you learn, and design thinking isn't something that I'll sit today, I'll finish in 2 weeks and I'll become an expert. You can be doing design thinking for 2 years and still you wouldn't have completed, because this is all about innovations, and innovations can keep coming up. So there is no way you're finishing your process of design thinking. Okay, so don't try to be in this place where you want to finish it off. Just start learning today, start learning part by part. All right. So finally, I think thank you guys for being such an awesome audience. Thank you all for listening to me. and we'll have a Q&A now. And for the Q&A also, another thing which I wanted to tell you guys. I know few of you are hesitant to ask your questions here. You don't want to maybe type it out, don't want to talk about it. You can send me a message on either of my Instagram pages, which is load the code or taruncode.py, and I'll get back to you with all the answers. All right. So if you have any questions now, you can ask me in the chat section.
Please, please ask the questions, because I think this is your last session with Tarun. So please feel free, ask whatever questions you have. Okay.
Um, I'll stop sharing my screen so I can get the chat section. Cool. Yeah, coding from Bosch is a great place. You can definitely learn from that. Okay. To learn buffer overflow. Okay. If you want to learn about ethical hacking, what I recommend is first check out my other page, which is load underscore the code. You can find few topics there, but if you still want to know about it in a greater view, just send me a message there and I will send you few links where you can learn it from. I can't share the links directly here, so do one thing, message me on my page where I'll send you that. Yeah, this will be the final session from me, guys. So next class, I don't know, the shop will inform you about that. So feel free to ask me all the questions, and you can direct message me, or you can send it on the all of them. For my page, I'll send you the. Yeah, sure, guys. You want to ask me any questions there later on also? Yeah, I'm available on these pages. Anytime you have a doubt, just feel free to drop by. I've sent you the link to one of my pages. You can message me there. You can use Udemy to learn any of your courses too, but I personally recommend Coursera because they have assignments in between, which will, help you understand the topic more in depth. And also the certificate holds a lot of value. You can attach it to your LinkedIn profiles or your resumes. So I recommend Coursera. Also, Coursera has this financial aid place where you can get courses for free. So I recommend you check that out. All right, guys. So if you guys don't have any more questions, then I think we can wrap up the session.
Yes, yes, we can wrap up. Just one thing, just one.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I hope you guys were able to learn a thing or two from this session. Yeah.
So the feedback form is in the link. I want you all guys to fill the form. And yes, I think that's it. Thank you so much, Tarun. I hope you guys enjoyed today's session. You got to learn so many things about programming. And also, Tarun gave you a bonus with design thinking. I hope you guys enjoyed. There's a question in the chat. Basically, are you a hacker or a programmer?
I started out my journey being a hacker, but in between that, when I was learning on networking, I came across Python. So from there, started my journey on programming. So I basically both. I'm a hacker by passion, but programmer for all of my freelancing works. I do teach hacking, but all on the ethical side. So yeah, see, exactly, that's what I meant. We don't hack innocent people's device. We basically we save innocent people from getting hacked. So if there is a website or an application that has any vulnerability, we will test it before any other bad person with any bad intention can harm you. So we will test it first. We'll figure out where is the issue. We will give a solution for this issue, and then we patch the issue basically. Okay, yeah, please don't ask me to hack Wi-Fi passwords and stuff, guys. Okay, I think cool. All right, I think we can wrap up. Thank you guys for being such an awesome audience. Bye, guys. Hope you guys learned some.
Thank you, Tarun. Thank you so much. Also, people who are still here, I wanted to know how many of you want to learn about blockchain, cryptocurrency. I think many of you wanted to learn about it. Blockchain. Was it you or was it the finance club who wanted to learn about it?